There was nothing I could say. I didn't understand Rimi. Brother, me neither. That had always been the case. Dude, until yesterday you claimed you had just met her. I've never understood this girl I've known for 48 hours. Rimi had been there to support me. She'd been there for me. But there was so much about her I didn't understand. I don't understand. Don't understand, bitch. Don't understand. Until now, I'd always opted to just ignore it. Not to me, you didn't. Maybe that was because it felt like if any of those things I didn't understand ever came out in the open, Rimi would go away. And I was afraid of that. Because I'm a delusion. I can't go anywhere. I managed to work up the courage to ask that single question. Why would Rimi want to be anywhere near a guy like me who A, sucks, and B, sucks? Was it because she was like Yua and trying to set me up for a fall? We're just innocent men, and women just exist to trap innocent men like Takumi Nishijo. The answer wasn't what I expected. A kick in the cock? I also don't want him to wake up, but I might be talking about something else. She didn't want me to wake up? Evanescence style? To awaken as a gigalomaniac? Is that what she meant? Rimi knew more about me than I did myself. Rimi hesitated. Doesn't sound too confident. Why, though? Have you not been talking to the guy? He, sucks, crazy style. I had to ask. You're like a demo version of one, so you're like, technically you are, but the rest of us refuse to count you in our number. See, yeah. You're like a pre-alpha. Was she trying to confuse me? Nothing more. Great band. She didn't say who told her about it. Which part? Oh. She was lying. She was lying when she said it was a lie. I could tell it just by looking at her. I went to ask her another question, but stopped. Was Rimi on my side or my enemy? Here you are, enemy! If I asked and got the wrong answer, she might leave me forever, so I couldn't ask. If I just pretended nothing had happened, if I just let her lie to me, everything could go back to how it was before. That'd be easier. I'd be happier that way. Maybe. Can I pick? Because I would like to pick the thing that is worse for you. Yeah, I should just do that. Fuck, he's choosing for me. Prick. I could pretend to be a baka. I could just let her keep lying to me. She saved me enough time. She probably wasn't going to hurt me in the future. Yeah, that's a reasonable thing to think. All I had to do was give her what she wanted and lead a normal life. I looked away from her and thanked her instead of asking her a question. Stab him. I couldn't think of anything else to say, so I just silently followed the path home. Soon I came to a street I recognized. It was in a cramped, quiet neighborhood. Once in a while you could hear the sound of the trains in the distance. I'd known this place since I was a little kid. This was where I'd grown up. This is where I went to school. Most of the time I better things to do. I'd followed the same road to elementary school and to middle school. Criminal record says I've broken twice. I just had to turn down the narrow street in front of me and home would be right there. Oh no, did someone steal his shipping container? I was scared to face Nanami, but I had to see whether her arm was still attached. I stopped and took a deep breath to calm myself. Then I went to take a step forward when... What? I turned back to see that Rimi was looking at me. She was on the verge of tears. Do you want to be my girlfriend or not? Yeah, you don't need to see a girl with a severed hand. That ain't fun. This shit's been so normal lately. What did that mean? And I go, okay. This don't sound too bad. Alright, now. No, we don't need him. Let's get him out of here. Just soba? Soba and CDs, what a life. Yeah, she would know. How would she know? Oh, okay, he doesn't. Was she lying again? Was there a reason she didn't want me going to my parents' house? When you see a bloody stump. Not again. I wasn't making a riddle! I was just sick of it all. Was I supposed to just never understand what's going on around me? Yeah, welcome to life, brother. I couldn't keep playing dumb, even if I wanted to. Everybody kept throwing mysteries in my face. Weesnaw. Knew I should have named her Debbie. I just wanted to remain ignorant. According to the bald guy in the Matrix, that's bliss. Sick of it. I was the one who'd always decided to do things halfway, wasn't I? I'm never gonna half-ass two things. I'll whole-ass one thing. I was the one who'd run away from things. That's right. I should just keep on doing what I've always been doing. I should just go home. Rimi was right. I didn't need to see Nanami. Who fucking cares? If I went to see her, and she was missing her right hand, what was I supposed to do about it? I'd just go, oh, that sucks. Anyway, bye. It'd be my fault, wouldn't it? Nanami would hate me. She'd despise me. I'd be the loser who couldn't save his little sister. I'd know for sure just how pathetic I was. If I kept everything vague and uncertain, I wouldn't feel guilty. Yeah, I should just do that. That was the best move. Don't look at anything. No matter how many mysteries people shoved in my face, I could just ignore them all. I could hide myself away from the whole world. And then they got to the kid doing the fucking weird duck face thing. I need to hide from the world. Such... That's true. You are Baga Oni. In my head, I heard Nanami's bright, cheerful voice. If I ran away here, I'd never be able to face Nanami again. I'd never be able to come here again. That's fine. They probably don't want you. That's why they let you live in a shipping container on a roof. I clenched my fists and stepped onto the narrow street that led to my old home. It was less than 50 meters away. At first my pace was brisk, then I ran. He ran. I headed toward the home where I'd grown up. 30 meters, 20 meters, 10-5 touchdown. 0 meters. 0. Zawarudo. The whole house is bleeding. And the house I knew so well. Wasn't there? Then what that is? The name on the plate was different. It didn't say Nishijo. The house looked different. It was much nicer, much newer than the house I lived in. I lived in a dump. I looked around. I thought maybe I'd just stopped at the wrong house. But I was wrong. And besides that, nothing around me matched what I remembered. I thought for a moment maybe I'd gotten lost or gone down the wrong street, but that was impossible. Everything on the way here had been just as I remembered it. The path here was the same. But my home wasn't here. I'd followed the path in my memories, but what I remembered being here wasn't here at all. Instead, it was something else. I was seeing something new. Yeah, something else. I get it. This game should not be 30 hours long. It should be 12. This guy didn't spend so much time fucking repeating himself. It's like I'm here for the first time. Yeah, almost like it was something else. Jamais vu? Deja vu. Rimi was standing right behind me. Her words were an instant rejection. Well, that sucks. Is that the end of the chapter? No. The light from the setting sun fell into the hospital hallway. This time of day was particularly dark. It was just before nightfall, and the lights hadn't been turned out yet. The chaos and noise of dinner time had subsided, and an almost eerie silence descended in its place. Shogun was slowly moving down the hallway in his wheelchair. The sound of the creaking wheels echoed throughout the corridor. The North Corridor, an album by Chevelle that I reviewed on my YouTube channel today, or if you're watching this on YouTube, earlier. Before today. He passed several nurses on the way, but none of them looked at him or spoke. Shogun, for his part, didn't seem to find this unusual at all. Frail hands, seemingly made of nothing but skin and bones, turned the wheels again and again. As he passed one of the rooms, a patient named Yamai began to scream. He pointed at Shogun, shouting frantically. There happened to be a nurse in his room. She looked terribly confused. No one there. Stop it. Shut up. Sick of your problems. The nurse looked around and chuckled. Oh, you silly, mentally ill patient. Shogun was right in front of her with his wheelchair, but still she said nobody was there. You're not gonna trick me. Yamai kept screaming and getting angrier and angrier. Shogun ignored him and continued down the hallway, turning right. The cream-colored walls suddenly became black. Shogun didn't hesitate for even a moment before the wall. That's the wall, brother. He kept going forward, and just before it seemed like he would hit it, the wall vanished. It simply disappeared and revealed the hallway behind it, and the music decided to do its bum-bum-bum. Shogun kept going forward. The hallway went on for about 20 more meters before ending, this time for real. There was a single door, which opened into a room. Shogun opened the door and went inside. It was a room that didn't exist. The one that there'd been rumors and ghost stories about in the hospital for years. It's like a room from a beloved franchise that's no longer beloved because the person who did it is a piece of shit. I'll let you figure out what I'm talking about. Nameplate on the door was Takumi Nishijo. Giga Low Maniac. Columbo. We're making progress. Making bacon progress. The sky outside the train car was turning dark. The Yamanote line car was packed with salarymen heading home from work and students heading home from school. Yua Kusunoki and Yasuji Ban were standing next to each other, hanging onto the straps as the train rumbled and shook. They made a strange pair, and Yua had been glancing around for a while now to see if they'd attracted anyone's attention. There it is. She kept fiddling nervously with her hair and her glasses. She can't see a thing without her glasses. She just met Ban a few days ago and wasn't up to making friendly conversation with him. There was only one stop between Harajuku and Shibuya, but the 3 minutes it took to go between them felt far, far longer than it usually did. Ban was silently looking out the window. He made no attempt to speak to her. In Yua's mind, Ban wasn't a bad person, but he was a little scary. She'd met several police officers after what had happened with her sister, and didn't have a high opinion of any of them. Based. Maybe that's what made her feel awkward around Ban. That was how she saw it, anyway. Oh my god, this is how kids talk about video games. Two men standing near the doors had been talking in loud voices ever since she'd got on at Harajuku. They were making no effort to avoid disturbing the other passengers, and Yua was forced to listen to their conversation. I scream about video games like this. It's normal behavior. They were wearing unfashionable clothes. There is unfashionable. Oh, God, these jackasses on the train. Oh, they're loud and disrupting everybody else's ride, and they're dressed so unfashionably. And bandanas and fingerless gloves and tightly packed backpacks. They were the type commonly called otaku. Do otaku wear bandanas and fingerless gloves? An anime and manga fan herself, Yua wasn't really bothered by their appearance of looking like bikers. But she'd never been to Akihabara before, and she'd never seen someone dressed like such a stereotypical otaku. I would not have guessed that that was considered stereotype otaku dress. Okay. She took a few glances at this rare sight before realizing how rude she was being. She quickly looked away. In the seat in front of her was a teenage girl with brown hair and a blue blazer. Or as we call him, Owen Hart. I'm sorry. She was typing into her phone, her fingers done up with gaudy fake nails. Every time she moved her fingers, the strap on the phone dangled. It had a tiny plastic gun at the end of it. Ugh, another otaku. Yua saw what that girl was writing. The girl was holding it at a bizarrely flat angle. It was almost as if she was trying to make sure Yua saw it. Went to a party last night with this cop, and it sucked. Lamest old dude I ever met. Hope he dies. WTF, LOL, thought he was dead. Oh my god, Yua was the girl's age, but she couldn't understand it at all. It was probably just how some girls talked when they were on the phone, but to her it looked like some kind of code. Oh my god. The code of shortening text. bang. There's a basketball game going on. Has the playoffs started yet? By the time you watch this, they will have. Suddenly, a child's voice echoed loudly through the car. Yua turned toward the voice in surprise. To the ladies, I'm surprised. It was a 5-year-old kid standing next to Bon. He was holding a toy water pistol and pointing it at Bon. He was pulling the trigger, but water wasn't coming out. Not gonna do it. You're not tricking me. I ain't gonna say it. This would never happen in the real world. Ever. No way. Bon gave the child a grin. His eyes weren't laughing at all, but the child didn't seem scared in the slightest. Someone who appeared to be the child's mother came over. She bowed shallowly in Bon's direction. Alright. The mother's voice was stern, but all she was doing was warning him. She didn't try to take the gun or make him put it down. Alright. It's not fine. You need to fucking... Yeah. Something seemed really strange about the whole scene to Yua. Me too. Like, aren't we getting toward the climax of this game? Can we fucking speed it up, please? The mother was making an angry face at her child and looking apologetically at Bon. But that was all. Bang, bang, bang. I don't want to know your name. All I want. Bang, bang, bang. Is she gonna, like, kill this kid? Like... The child seemed completely oblivious to her pleas. He kept repeating the same phrase over and over again, like a broken toy. His mother still wasn't making any real effort to stop him. Bon, for some reason, made no effort to stop the child. Oh, are they doing this thing where bang and bon are, like, similar? This continued all the way to Shibuya. Why, though? The train stopped at Shibuya Station and the doors opened. The kid and his mom made no effort to get off. Relieved, Yua stepped off the train with Bon. She looked at him and saw he was chuckling. What a weird thing that they're doing. We bong apologize for the bong convenience. That the world is talking to me. Rows of people were walking past them on the platform. As they joined the crowd heading for the Hachiko exit, Bon suddenly whispered to Yua. Like a 5-year-old kid in the PA announcer. All she can say, huh? You're getting too close. That's why Bon hadn't said anything about the child's mischief. Little things like that were happening all the time lately. If he let each one bother him, he'd go crazy. Fast. There you go. I love how self-deprecating everyone in this game is. Like, whenever they talk, they're just like, well, maybe it's for me, but I suck, so why would it be? Gang stalking. Yeah. It's gang. Maybe something else a little more, recognizable just from the name of it. Okay. I feel the way about the stoplights on my way home. They always turn red whenever I get close. And the streetlights are gang stalking me. Until you prove it. People keep calling me and say, fucking go away. I don't know what they want. For some reason, Bon had a smile on his face as he spoke. Yua felt more scared than he seemed to be. She crossed her arms over her chest. Are you really okay? It happens to me all the time. He spoke casually, but as he regarded her, the look on his face became more serious. Nope, just Takumi. She said hi. Hi means yes. No is ie. Or yada. Then again, I don't know enough to say that whatever she said after that wouldn't have been a negative statement. Or denying it. If you see anything that feels even the slightest bit out of place, you tell me right away. Man, I'm not gonna tell you shit. Competent ass. Yua realized that she may have gotten into something more dangerous than she'd thought. Uh-huh. Cool. That's what Rimi said, but I didn't have a clue what she meant. I ignored her and began to look at the houses around me. I remembered this place. I'd never seen this place before. The house that should be here wasn't. The house that shouldn't be here was. The gap between my memories and reality became more and more stark in the light of the evening sun. That's the kind of thing I would scream. Nothing's wrong! I said this aloud, desperately trying to deny the Zetsubo in my heart. That's right, nothing's wrong at all. Everything is fine. This is fine. This is fine. I just gone down the wrong street. I was being silly. Nothing was wrong with the world at all. How could there be? I ran back the way I came, headed down the next street over. But again, there was a gap between my memories and what I saw. It's like this fucking Satoru Gojo doing fucking domain expansion on this guy. This is the infinite between what you remember and what actually is. I realized my whole body was, soaked with an awful sweat. Hell yeah. You know, I remember when I wrote my first book, one thing one of my editors had gotten back to me with was, in my first draft, was that characters were sweating so much that they would have lost like 15 pounds. And it just wasn't something I thought of. And it's all I can think of here. Like, Takumi Nishijo must be rail thin. He's sweating through like 30 pounds of water weight. Everything's much better when you leave the ground. Am I going insane? Who's fucking with my medicine? Although in this game, that's probably what it is. Someone's fucking with his medicine. Ain't no way they were holding hands. No fucking way. He ain't biking anywhere either. And why is this your pose? Nimi had caught up to me. Her voice was quiet. Shibuya Middle. Come on. Everyone knows these places are only named after the town they're in. What was that name again? Couldn't remember. I'd gone to middle school. I remembered that much, but the details weren't clear. It was like there was a fog in my head that was keeping me from seeing them. The name of the school, which class I was in, my teachers' names. I couldn't remember any specific names at all. That would be a problem. I think I remembered the names of all of my elementary school, like from first grade to the end. I think I remember all my main teachers' names. I will not recite them here, but rest assured I remember them. I'm sure it's fine. Okay. They put a Noah 2 on your head. You're in a simulation, man. I felt like I was gonna go crazy. By me. Don't make that face. That's just a regular face, man. Come on. Demi's eyes were downcast. She looked sad as she lied to me. It was more stuff I didn't understand. Stuff I couldn't understand. I gave up on thinking. And I know a lot of people in the world today have done that shit. You were a fucking failure. It's a prank, bro. By removing my house. You hid my house. Yeesh. Goodness. I was trying to laugh it off, but Rimi didn't even grin. I'm going to have to hurt you. That's fine. He deserves it. Yeah, give him the angry face. Look at him like you're disappointed. Fucking right? That's what I've been saying this whole time. No, she ain't lying. You shouldn't exist, brother. Demi was lying to me. She was my enemy, too. When I'd seen her then, it hadn't been a delusion at all. The new gen killer wasn't the man I'd seen on TV. It was Rimi. She'd been watching me the whole time to make sure I didn't tell anybody the truth, and that's why she'd stayed with me. You wanted me to be the killer. With numbness and pain, I synchronize. She spoke. Quietly. As if to make sure I heard. Her calm demeanor just made me even more upset. I was gonna scream at her. The other one's gonna be what? Nanami? I was about to say, there's 6 characters in the whole game. Who else could it be? I got her off. I put my hands tight over my ears, and I went, la 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 la. I closed my eyes. Her voice was quiet and plaintive, but it was an order. I gulped. Alright, you gotta cut it out, or I will kill you. Yes. Terroir ran down my spine. In my mind, Nimi was changing from my savior into some strange creature I didn't understand. A girl. Just cut him up. Cut him up. Slice him. Get him. Get him. Why do you keep looking like that? Biting your lip, looking down like you're about to cry. Makes it hard to get mad at you. Tell me it was all a lie. Smile and ask me if you fooled me. And then we can go back to how things were before. I want to go back.
だったら僕は
ギガロマニアックスの妄想によって作られた人間。
Oh, I thought she was going to be the delusion. Turns out he was. Somebody deluded a real piece of shit.
バカらしい。
You're a baka.
僕にはちゃんと
No, you don't.
細かい記憶は思い出せないけど忘れちゃっただけで。
あなたが生まれたのは
Ay, ay, ay.
1年半前なの。
Year and a half ago. That would be right when I started high school.
だったら僕は1歳半の赤ん坊っていうことじゃないか。
Well, that would explain a lot.
バブ言ってなくちゃおかしい。
You basically do.
タクは生まれた瞬間からタクだった。
君がその目で見たって言いたいの？確かに僕らは1年半前から友達だったらしい。
私とあなたが1ヶ月前、貼り付けの現場。私はもともと水明の生徒じゃないから。
You don't say. Rimi was crazy. Rimi was crazy, just like the rest of them. She was super crazy, like the wrestler, super crazy. Even crazier than Senna and Ayase. And what about Kozapi? She's a little woohoo, too.
西条匠くんだよ。
Oh.
入ったアウト。僕が妄想なんでしょ。その僕が妄想。
Yeah, so there it is. Shogun is Takumi Nishijo, and he had a delusion of himself not in a wheelchair. I'm willing to bet. Okay, so there we go. Takumi's deluded himself. A shitty version of himself. You know what? If I was going to invent a high school version of myself, I would assume based on the one that had existed previously. I don't think I would make him as monstrous a piece of shit as this guy. I might try and make him a little bit less pathetic.
それとも君の妄想。君が勝手に作り出した君だけの脳内設定なんでしょ。僕はそれに。
私だってタクにはここにも来てほしくなかった。
That's why I pretended to be your girlfriend.
もっと強く引き止め
You
る。
really should have just gone more for it, you know? Her face was firm. Her eyes were gazing straight at me. They had a deadly serious look about them, and they were filled with light. She didn't look like she was lying at all.
ここまで来たら
And now,
本当のことを知ってもらった方がいいと
but
思う。
this is a lie. This was all a lie. It had to be a lie. If it wasn't, I'd go crazy. Who could believe a person who suddenly told them they were a delusion? I believe it. I'll believe anything.
あなたの行動が他の人の命を
That's not true. I don't believe anything.
た方が。
そうだ。ナナミは僕が妄想だったら僕と血がつながってるナナミも両親も妄想ってこと？そんなの無茶。
ナナちゃんはいるよ。
Nanami's real. You're not. No one likes you. You didn't think it was odd that a 17-year-old kid was living in a shipping container on a roof? The way she was talking, it was almost like she knew Nanami.
ナナミを誘拐したのは君なの。
似たようなものかもね。
Yeah, I did it. Hey.
私はタクを守ることに気を取られすぎて、ナナちゃんが狙われる可能性を考え、私は誘拐犯のこと知ってる。
I knew it. She was the demon girl, just like I'd thought at first. I wanted Rimi, at least, to be on my side. That wish had let me keep believing for so long. Oh no, don't stop believing. There had been any number of things that should have made me suspicious. I kept closing my eyes to all of them so that I could believe her when she'd said she'd stay with me. But in the end, she was just like, you are.
君も僕を裏切るんだ。
Yeah, dude, fuck you, man. The thing is, you're just not pleasant to be around.
そうだね。私はタクを裏切った。隠し事。ごめんね。私のこと恨んでいいよ。
Alright.
謝られたって僕は信じない。信じられない。
But despite what I was saying, I couldn't prove that I was real. I think, therefore, I am. Fuck that. Who cares? All the strange supernatural things I'd seen so far came flashing back to me. Could I really be sure that what Rimi was saying was crazy? Rimi slowly walked up to me and held me tight. Caught off guard, I didn't resist. Her warmth. It had saved me when I was in trouble. Yeah, I hate this girl now, but I'll mind a quick smooch. It kept my mind from breaking. It had taught me kindness. But now, even as she held me in her arms, her warmth felt very far away.
そろそろ行かなきゃ。
Bye bye.
どこへ。
ナナちゃんをさらった誘拐犯のところ。決着つけこのままだとタクも守りきれないし。
So, bye. I can't protect you. You're too much of a liability.
そんなの無責任だ。
Leave me by myself? I am terrible.
僕にここまでひどいこと言っておいて逃げるの。
Rimi moved away from me, a step, and then another step. Little by little, she put more and more distance between us. And she's going like, hey, stay.
そしたらまた一緒にいろいろ楽しいお話ししよう。あなたはあそこにいても。
Her voice was kind. After all the horrible things she'd said, how could she be kind again?
でも一つだけもう妄想はしない。
No breathing.
タクの妄想力はとっても強い。妄想すればするほど
You pretend a little too good,
削られて
and you have to stop.
何を。
それじゃあまた明日。リシ。
Okay, she gave me a salute and a smile that seemed very, very out of place. But then right after that, silent tears began to fall from her eyes. That's not silent, she made a noise. She quickly turned her back to me and ran, shoulder shaking. I watched her go and then collapsed to my knees.
本物の僕ってなんだよ。
Yeah, the one that people give a shit about.
僕は偽物じゃない。
You fake, man. You fictional, brother. All the colors seemed to have gone out of the world. There was no hope to be found. I'd been denied my very existence. My life had no meaning. Sucks. Not even my death had any meaning. Demi had gone and left my useless self behind. She was my enemy too. She'd been lying to me. And now she told me everything. There was no reason for her to stay with me anymore.
戻ってくるはずない。
Good. Demi had abandoned me because I'm just a delusion, supposedly. I'm just a monster. Well, she didn't say that part, I did. It didn't even matter. Nothing mattered. I didn't even have the strength to stand up. I still couldn't get any of what she'd said straight in my head. I was so shocked, I couldn't even cry. The cold twilight wind was stealing the heat from my body. Even the little bit of warmth that Rimi had left was gone. I looked up at the sky for no reason at all, and the twilight had almost entirely turned to night. Guess it's time to go to the shipping
こ
container.
れが試作。
Oh, time for snacks at Frieza. Momose stared at the Garo Froggy keychain that Bon had bought and smiled.
でも可愛いじゃない？
そりゃ新作じゃねえよ。先週出た
You failure. You couldn't get the new one?
なんだっけ。
Bon gave you a look that was begging for help.
涙目ゲロカイルンです。
ああ、そうそう。
I'm teary-eyed because my fucking eyes are glazing over. Why are we wasting so much time?
ごめんね、ゆあちゃん。こんなむさ苦しいおじさんに付き合わされて。
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks to watch it, and I'm sad that we're still doing that.
ひでえな、ももちゃん。こんなダンディーな中年はなかなかいねえぜ。
Momose was, however, not interested in Bon's comments in the slightest. She ignored him and brought Yua a cup of tea herself. Bon sighed and sat in a chair as he looked around the office. Frisia's employees usually worked late, but today they'd all gone home right as the workday ended. The schedule on the whiteboard showed that none of them were working overtime today. Case is over, who cares? With the office empty, it was quiet as midnight.
で、ももちゃん。進行の
Thinko?
調べてくれたかい？
I prefer Harpo. I'm Harpo! Before he'd gotten on the train at Harajuku, Bon had called Momose and asked her to investigate the company called Thinko.
その前。
Thinko Pop. They make awful tchotchkes. Momose gave Yua a happy
ゆあ
smile.
ちゃん、お茶を飲んだら帰った方がいいわ。
This is adult talk. Hmm. These two are gonna fuck like jackrabbits.
日も暮れ
That's
た
why
し、
everybody went home.
ご両親が心配するでしょ。
Yua could tell what Momose was thinking. What they were about to discuss wasn't safe for an ordinary girl like Yua to hear. Yeesh.
私のこと心配してくれているんですか？
え、そうよ。
Your innocence, yeah, pretty much. Momose's face took on a grave look, and she nodded. Yua was grateful, but shook her head.
私帰りません。
Sorry.
みやちゃんの
I'm watching.
心に近づくためなら、
あなたはこれ以上関わるべきじゃないわ。
私もとっくに当事者の一人です。
Don't tell me what to do! There was a strength in her words that made it clear she wasn't going to change her mind. Momose was surprised at this sudden, unexpected refusal.
意外と頑固ね。
ま、ここでのけ者にするのも。
You could just really get out of the office.
いざとなったら警察で保護するさ。
Yeah, that'll do wonders, I'm sure. Momose let out a deep sigh at Bon's unconcerned attitude.
バンちゃんにそんな権力があるのか。
ま、こう見えても一応天下
This guy doesn't even have the authority to validate parking for the police at this moment.
あら、そう。
Momose ignored him and turned to stare at Yua.
これから聞くことは絶対に口外者。これはあなたの命にも関わることだから、それを肝に銘じてね。
Got it. Love steak. Yua nodded, a tense look on her face. Momose looked at her and sighed one more time before settling back into her seat. Her plump Why is she catching a stray like this?
で、
She sat down and her fat rolls got fatter as she sat.
バンちゃんの予感的中って感じね。
Bon and Yua looked at her monitor from over her shoulder.
有限会社新興の親会社はのぞみテクノ
Oh
ロ
man, Nozomi, those are the bad guys.
のぞみテクノロジー？
のぞみグループか。
The Nozomi group.
さあ、驚きだ。
It's a surprise, is it? Not to me.
新興は5年前にのぞみ
NOAA Organization of Medical Instruments? Oh, Zation. Organization. Oh, fuck.
ゲロカイルンだけじゃないの。中国製バッグとかタイ製のエコバッグとか美脚パンツとかで、この会社は商品の売り出し方が独特なの。 いつも週末に新製品を一斉に投入するのよ。
Bond's ears perked up when he heard the word weekend. Save your tears for another day?
G レートとの関係は？
必然にしろ偶然にしろ、進行
Blinded by the light.
G レートの変動の影響ね。それは確かよ。前に見せた G レートのグラフ覚えてる？5年ぐらい前から。
No, that was like 30 hours
値が
ago.
上がってるって言ったわよね。進行がのぞみグループに合併された時期とぴったり。
Whoa.
進行がレートを操作してると思うか？
They're selling frogs and making the gravity not work right.
進行自体はそんなに
What a
大きな
thing.
会社じゃないから、それは無理よ。
となると親会社。のぞみ
Oh my god. To what end? To what end to selling frogs?
待って。のぞみ
Silly.
の方はもちろんだけど、進行が興味深いの
Oh
はそ
man,
こだけ
I
じゃ
am
ない。
struggling here, folks.
設立当初の資料にまで遡ってみたら、すごい大物が出てくる。
大物？
井ノ原構造。
The Inohana Kozo? Who the fuck's that? Oh, wait a minute. Is that going to be like Kozue? I mean, it's not the same, but is that where this is going? Oh, he's a big shot in the Meiwa party. Oh, yeah, he is. That fucking guy. I knew it was going to be him. It had his fingerprints all over it. He was still a dem lip. Oh, okay. One of those dem libs. Fucking, you gotta own those. It's all coming together, is it? It's news to me.
それとこの前の地震の時、明和島は G レ
G レートのグラフのことだけど、いろいろ調べてたら他にも面白いパターンを見つけたわ。
There were two things she'd discovered so far about the GE rate. First, that it rose regularly on the weekends. It wasn't that big of an increase, but it went up every weekend, except on New Year's, during Golden Week, and during Obon. Second, that there was a huge rise during the earthquakes. The GE rate had shown an incredible rise during the earthquake 2 months ago, when 8 people had died, and then the one a week ago, where over 100 people had died.
で、
The gravity spiked when a bunch of people died.
この5年で4回だけ起きてるわ。時期はどれもまちまち。最初はこれが何を意味しているのかわからなかったんだけど。
イベン
Oh boy.
もったいぶらずに教えろよ。
選挙よ。
They're using gravity to rig elections.
週3合わせて4度行われた選挙日と、その4回の GE レート上昇の日は完全に同じだったわ。
Bond frowned and stroked his stubble. I'm frowning and massaging my fucking brain.
野党だった明和党が大役
Oh my god.
4年前ですね。
そして、
Shit makes me tired. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
迷惑に移ったのは5年前。
Suddenly there was a heavy silence between the three of them.
なんか私、お話を聞いていたら
Yeah, somehow.
怖くなってきました。
Oof. Yua whispered, voice quavering a little.
私もびっくりだわ。
Has it all lined up?
証拠でしかないがな。
It sure is.
それでも G レートのことを知っていたからこそ気づ
Oh my goodness. This is unbelievable, man. This game is putting me to fucking sleep. Bond took his fan from his belt and casually began to wave it at his face. Normally when the big reveals happen, it's supposed to be, like, exciting.
ところで俺が調べた女子高生の生態について話していいか？
That's me. Just getting the vapors from this one. I'm almost say sighed and glared at him. For what? I don't know. I didn't even really look at it.
もうね、いきなりそんな
This
くだら
isn't
ない
the
こと言い
time.
出すんじゃないわよ。
Oh,
う
God.
わちゃんがいるんだから少しは考えなさい。
そういうなって。
No, don't be like that. Bond grinned, but his eyes weren't laughing at all.
見セナについてだ。正しくは畑野セナ。
Oh my god, Sena Aoi was Sena Hatano. She started using her mother's maiden name, yeah, for some reason. Like, whoa.
どういうこと？
I would say the pieces are coming together more like they're just being confirmed from what happened like an hour ago. The Nozomi group got their start with them, and went through a bunch of M&A, until they were one of the biggest groups in Japan.
半年前、畑野セナの母親と生後1年の妹が謎の死を遂げている。父親の失踪は畑野セナ本人もそれと前後して当時預けられていたとある施設
ですか？
天神寮っていう
Divine Light Dorm.
支援施設だ。
Oh, and a correctional facility.
表向きってじゃあ裏があるの？
スポンサーがいるのさ。これが天聖振興会。
What?
天聖振興会。
Momose frowned, then grunted in annoyance. Oh, is she like me for real?
また面倒。
ちなみにその天神寮は2年前アークハートメディカル会。
So Takumi Nishijo went there too. Oh my god, Sena Aoi and Ayase Kishimoto and Takumi Nishijo all went to the Church of the fucking Divine Foresight or whatever the fuck. Bon leaned forward toward the two of them. Oh good, 30 hours in, it's gonna get interesting.
アークハートメディカル会は天神寮と違ってメンタル系。ところが2年前、アークハートメディカル会は突然非営利団体の自立校、それによって精神科医が一斉に解雇されたんだが、その医師たちを丸ごと雇い入れたのが代々木にある
ノータリン事件で殺された人が勤めていたのってそこの病院。
ああ、高階文夫。確かに AH 東京総合病。ついでに言うと、そこの病院長は井ノ原と懇意らしい。
Okay.
また井ノ原議員ね。
ゆあちゃん、君が追ってた西条匠も実は AH
Oh my god, they arc-hearted in his brain.
3回訪れてる。
They made him a fake boy.
そうなんですか？
警察がずっと尾行してたんだね。確か。しかも西条には数年前にその病院に入院した記録まであった。不思議なのは西条の入院記録。
I'm glad the characters are being taught things that I was told at the very beginning.
約2年退院した記録。
This is
誰かが介
brutal.
在したのかしら。
どうだかな。まあ、それと畑野セナに関して、最近彼女がよく行動を共にしている折原梢って生徒がいる。この子も結構な曰くつ。折原の父親がのぞみグループの系列、元は広島の方に住んでてな。折原梢の同級生3人が何者かに襲われて、3人ともが右腕を鋭利な刃物で切断。折原もその場に居合わせていた。彼女が犯人じゃねえかって疑いがかかった。それで地元に居づらくなって引っ越した。
凶器が存在しない？見つからん。
存在しないだ。犯行は折原以外には実行できない状況だった。だが、たとえ折原が犯人、かまいたち現象じゃないかなんて本気で議論されたぐらいだ。
何もないところから剣を取り出す手品。
かもしれねえな。
They just keep talking.
君が悪いです。
Well put. Thank you for adding that to the conversation. Yua had her arms wrapped around her body like she was trying to stop herself from shaking.
何かとても大きな意志が。
職業柄俺は陰謀論なんざ信じて。
Yes, they do.
名和と、そしてのぞみグループ。 G レートに関係してると思われるのは。
転生振興会も叩けば埃が出てきそうね。
I mean, I'm fine with a bunch of unrelated seeming things coming together to do this, but oh my god. Momose took a sip of her tea. Riveting.
バンちゃんには呆れるわ。
I'll give her that.
本来の仕事をほったらかしにしてこんなことを。
元はといえば、ももちゃんが G レートのことを教えてくれた。
Shouldn't have told me about the conspiracy theory when you knew I was gonna dive right down that route.
そうだけど、それで捜査本部から外されちゃったら世話ないわ。
No big loss.
なんだからあんたって人は。
She wasn't blaming him, though. It was a very roundabout way of giving him a compliment. Momose gave him a lot of grief, but in her own way, she respected him.
おっと、電話だ。
Bond's phone began to ring. He looked at the LCD screen and saw that it was from an unlisted number. Oh, that's about to be a potential spam? Possible telemarketer? Somebody interested in your vehicle's extended warranty, perhaps? Hello? There was heavy static on the line. Bond moved the phone away from his ear and looked at his signal strength. It was good. The problem was on the other end. They must be somewhere with really bad reception, he thought. Like all of Shibuya.
誰だ。
It was the unknown caller who'd been threatening him lately. The voice sounded mechanical. They were probably using a voice changer. Bond chuckled.
あんたか。手を引けって言われてもな。
This was always where it ended. They'd say, back off, twice, and then they hung up. Every time, it was always the same pattern. No matter what Bond said, they never spoke another word. But today was different.
ああ。誰だ。
Only then did Bond figure out who was on the other end of the phone.
諏訪か。
Out of nowhere!
誰にやるんだ。今ど。相手は一人なんだな。
Ha. Ha.
おい、大丈夫なの。諏訪、おい、諏訪。
But no matter how much Bond yelled, nothing more came from the phone. And that's all he's got. All he could do was click his teeth. He hung up. Momose and Yuo were looking at him, concerned.
スワちゃんに何かあったの？
No. Whatever gave you that idea? Bond stood up and lightly slapped himself on the cheeks. Hit my microphone.
諏訪が人質に取られた。
Oh, there's the intro piano riff. Let's go.
まさか名和と
No, it's the Church of Divine Light of Tomorrow or whatever they were fucking called. The Gravity Party.
このままじゃ。
応援を頼んだ方がいいわ。
Nah.
それこそ諏訪の命はねえよ。俺一人で様子を見てくれ。
He'll be a dead man. I should go alone, so we can both be dead mans. Bond put his fan on the desk. Oh, that's how you know he's serious. He looked at each of the women in turn. There was a bold look on his face that was nowhere to be found a moment ago.
ももちゃんとゆあちゃんもどこかに身を隠せ。
Like in this office, under a desk. I don't care. Bye. I found myself heading back to the base. My legs were so heavy you'd think someone had stuffed them with lead. It wasn't just my legs. My whole body was heavy. I told myself that this weight I was feeling was proof that I was real. Nobody paid any attention to me as I walked on unsteady feet through the streets of the city at night. Until just a little while ago, I'd been so afraid that people would notice me, would laugh at me, that I screamed to them in my mind, "Don't look at me! Whose eyes are those?" Right now I wanted somebody, anybody, to look at me. I wanted them to see me. I wanted them to be aware I existed. It was the exact opposite of what I just wanted a little while ago. Yeah, I know, man. You already said this. But nobody looked at me. If I screamed, they might look at me with contempt. I didn't have the courage. I gripped my phone with sweaty hands. It was the phone I'd gone to buy with Nanami. There were just 4 numbers in its contact list. Rimi's number, Nanami's number, Misumi's number, and the number of my parents' house. I tried as hard as I could to think of a way to use these 4 numbers to prove I was real.
あなたは妄想の存在なんだよ。
Uh-huh. No, I'm not a delusion. I'm real. I'm Takumi Nishijo, unfortunately. I'm 17 years old. I'm a second-year student at Suimei Academy. I have a mom, a dad, and a little sister. Cool, I've got those 3 things, too. We're so alike. I was shaking terribly. My teeth were chattering. I wasn't cold, but I was shaking. The number I chose was Misumi's. Uh-oh. Hey, man, what the fuck you want, you deluded piece of shit? Here you go, answer. Moshi mosh.
ダークだろどうしたんだリミとうまいこと言ったかちゃんと童貞卒業できたんだろうな感謝しろよ気を使って2人にしてやったんだからよ
Misumi was the same as ever. It was a relief. He knew me. He knew I was Takumi Nishijo. That was proof I couldn't be a delusion. Rimi was just lying.
そういえばついさっき美奈子から言われたんだけど
Who? Is that the fake girlfriend he's had this whole time?
美奈子。
ああ俺の女で美奈子が言うんだよここ1ヶ月ぐらい日常と急に仲良くなったけどこいつ何言ってんだってそもそも俺普通だったらお前みたいなやつとは絶対関わろうとしねえんだよなリミを通して知り合ったってのはなんとなく記憶にあるんだけどよ
What an interesting thing to bring up unprompted. Just talk about girls like you always do. Why do you have to talk about this today of all days?
お前さいつ
I don't think you're real, man. I got scared and hung up the phone. Ugh. I thought I was gonna cry, but no tears came. Instead, it just felt like my heart had been ripped apart. Oh, this would be a perfect moment for you can actually see the moment where his heart rips in half. Oh well. Next, I decided to call my parents. With trembling fingers, I managed to select the number and press the call button. Son, when did you and I become friends? Nanami was the one who saved my parents' number into my phone. I hadn't been the one to do it, so it should definitely be the right number. Would Dad be home at this hour, or would Mom pick up? Was Nanami there? If they did pick up, what would I say? What was I supposed to ask if I was really their son? They might think I was an idiot. I do. It was a baka question, after all. And what if they said no? What if they said our Takumi is in the living room eating dinner with Nanami, and he's not a fucking freak? What if I called them to prove I was real and ended up proving I was fake? What if they said, who are you? I said, alright. All kind of terrible thoughts filled my head. I didn't want to know. I was so scared. I was going crazy. Hurt to breathe. I couldn't get the air into my lungs. And then someone picked up. I tensed as I held the phone up to my ear.
あなたがおかけになった電話番号は現在使われておりません。番号をご確認の上、もう一度おかけ直しください。
Nobody was going to prove that I was real. Nobody was there to help. I wanted to die. I looked up and saw that I was on Yamanote Street. It was full of speeding cars. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it! Maybe I'd be better off dead. If I wasn't real, there's no point in me being alive. If I was a monster, the only thing waiting for me in this world was suffering. There'd be no hope, no dreams. My own existence disgusted me. I wanted to be free from all this. If I died, I could be free. If I was dead, I wouldn't have to think about things. Yeah, there's the plus right there. I wouldn't have to suffer. Nobody would laugh at me. Nobody would betray me. I'd be fed up with this world. I longed for nothingness. Feh. I took a heavy, slow step forward. I found a spot without a traffic light. I staggered out into the road. I felt like salvation was waiting for me there. And I'll never... Boom! The bright lights of a car's headlights, the piercing noise of a car's horn, the unnerving sound of screeching brakes. Very white in my face. Come on, kill me. I'm not real. I'm a monster. Kill me. Kill me now. The impact never came. TNAB's still losing. I opened my eyes. The car stopped in front of me. I was still standing in the middle of the road. The driver got out and was screaming something at me. He was poking me in the chest and yelling, "Hey man, get out of the fucking road!" Doshite. I fell to the ground and started to cry. Why wouldn't anybody save me? Why wouldn't anybody free me? Free me? Re me? Conspiracy. If I wasn't real, did that mean I wasn't even worth killing? Deep. Nimi took out her phone as she walked beneath the train tracks at Shibuya Station. She'd come straight here after leaving Takumi. She picked the name labeled Nana out of her contacts and called it. The phone was picked up immediately. Nimi had a good idea of who had Nanami and where she was being held. She'd been in the same position herself. It was a part of her past she wanted to forget, but if it meant saving Nanami, she was willing to face her memories. The person on the other end of the phone reacted just as she had expected. Nimi chuckled. Both her voice and expression seemed happy, even cheerful. There was no sign of the iron will inside her. Looking at her, you'd think she was just having a normal conversation. I want to help you. Nimi's expressions clouded after she said those words. Here's my little secret. I said a lot of really mean things to Taku. Ah! How? Yeah, fuck that guy. I don't even like that guy. Everything was a lie, but it was fun. Rimi's pace began to slow, little by little. People she didn't recognize were overtaking her from behind. Yeah, Taku sucks. Fuck that guy. Nobody should ever notice him. They should ignore him forever. But I loved him. As long as that's all it's telling you.
私の心には
It wouldn't have gone good.
この気持ち
Girl, it's over. Okay, get yourself a pint of ice cream, go home, put on Netflix, and just binge, alright? Have a good time. Treat yourself. You're too young to go out with the ladies and go get yourself a drink. Or the fellas, do whatever you gotta do. Yeah, you'll do that when you're older. So just get some ice cream, watch some shit, play some games, and just curl up with something comfortable, some nice socks, and forget about Takumi Nishijo. And when you put on those nice socks, think about how he will never be able to wear a pair of them without worrying that he'll grab the wrong ones.
さてとそろそろ切るね本当に大丈夫だってあなたはね匠
I no longer had the strength to do anything. The next thing I knew, I was back at the base. I must have gotten here somehow after failing to kill myself on Yamanote Street, but I couldn't remember how. Until now, I never even thought about it, but now I realize just how bizarre it was. It made me feel even worse. When I closed the door, the room became pitch black. I leaned up against it, motionless. The only sounds in the quiet room were the rumbling of my computer fan and my own shallow breathing. I thought that maybe in the darkness I wouldn't have to think about how ugly I was, but the opposite was true. With the silence and the darkness surrounding me, Rimi's cruel words were echoing in my mind over and over again. I replay it over and over again. You are a delusion. Wah! Even my crying sounded creepy and disgusting. Yeah, I'll never forget the time he went, goo! I felt like I was gonna vomit. I was creepy enough already. If I didn't exist like regular people did, that's even worse. I wanted to just disappear. I slowly walked to the other side of the room, tripping over the garbage on the floor as I went. Couldn't I have been deluded into being a little more neat and tidy? I turned on the lights, drove away the darkness. My eyes fell on the Seiratan, post-awakening version, figure on my desk. I grabbed it and slumped into my chair, and just shoved my face in her chest. Oh, other way around, excuse me. She was so small, so hard. She wasn't breathing. She wasn't speaking to me. Bitch. She didn't have the warmth a 3D girl did. Huh. Character growth. More like character gross. Right now, Seiratan was all I had. Rimi had left me. Nanami was missing. Senna had tried to kill me. Kozubi hadn't tried to stop her. That's all he's got for her. She did try to stop her, though. Yua, whoosh, was my enemy. And Ayase was in the hospital. These were the only girls whose names I knew, and none of them were going to do anything to help me. Help me, I'm a useless man! I didn't care about a monster like me. I gripped Seiratan with shaking hands, tighter and tighter until I thought she'd break. I wanted to just disappear. But if that's what I thought, why not do something about it? Yeah, just jam that figurine right near your neck. I was just pretending to be the hero of my own big sad story. Nobody would take pity on me if I just sat here feeling sorry for myself. Nobody was looking at me. Everybody had abandoned me. No, they'd never been close enough to me to abandon me. I never had any friends. I didn't even have a family. I didn't even exist. All Takumi. Oh, it's a knee slapper. If I raised my knee high enough, I'd hit the bottom of my desk. Just die already. I put Seiratan down and stood up from my chair. I found a roll of cord under my bed and picked it up. Oh, is he really about to do this? I made a loop. He's probably, about to do some jump rope. Nothing bad. He's not doing anything bad. Nothing terrible that would ever get me. Well, I'm not monetized, so I couldn't get demonetized, but it wouldn't get me kicked off YouTube or Twitch. He's just having himself a good time. I mean, there's nobody in his room. He's just there by himself with like a bungee cord. You know, he's on the top. He's gonna go skydive. It's a base jump. All right, he's gonna have a good time. He is, oh, Jesus. Bunk beds aren't tall enough for him to. He's practicing wrestling moves. You know, sometimes you do that as a kid. You would have like a friend or a sibling or a cousin or whatever, and you would stand on top of a mattress and you drop the elbow, fucking Shawn Michaels style. That's what he's doing. The rope makes it hurt more when you drop the elbow. He's sad and lonely, so that's why he's doing it alone. He's saying goodbye to his computer. He's not doing anything bad, and he fell. The cord is not doing anything to him. He's just at a Dutch angle. He's practicing to be the next director of Battlefield Earth. Don't pay any attention to the choking noise. Nothing's going on there. He is probably just ate something that went down the wrong pipe. You know, sometimes that happens. You take a sip of something and, you know, and it hurts a little bit, and he's still fucking going. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to come up with anything to say. You know, he's just blinking, his body's shaking, you know, because he's, you know, losing its support. And, okay, good, he fell over. Whew. He went for a swim.